It's sort of a specialty technique that I picked up slowly over the years by fishing tournaments all across the country, because we used to have a lot of tournaments in the early year, guys, like early in the year, like in February and March. And pre-spawn cranking, I had a chance to really learn a lot about it over decades and decades of fishing in a lot of different type of lakes across the country. So what I want to talk about today a little bit is the type of baits you want to use, how the fish react to those different type of crankbaits, retrieves, and type of areas that you want to fish them in. Now, I can tell you guys right off the bat right now, there's two categories of cold water crankbaits that you sort of have to focus on. And one are your wide wobbling crankbaits like the rock crawler, wigglewort, maybe even a square bill crankbait if the water temperature is warm enough. And then your tight wobblers like that, Megabass Sonic Side, the Megabass Flap Slap, homemade, any type of a homemade flat-sided crankbait, Shad Wrap. So when you think in terms of cold water crankbaits, think in terms of wide wobblers and tight wobblers, and that's what we're going to focus on in today's video. And also, guys, all in my Tackle Warehouse link in the description of this video, I'll link 5 or 6 of my favorite cold water crankbaits in there if you guys would like to pick some of those up. Okay, let's talk a little bit about tight wobblers and then wide wobblers. First of all, let's get into the wide wobblers, because in my opinion, the wide wobblers are a lot more situational. And like I said, in terms of wide wobblers, I'm talking about wigglewort, rock crawler, that line of bait that has a pretty significant side-to-side wobble. Now, one of the things that you're going to find out about the wobblers, wide wobblers versus tight wobblers in cold water cranking, it has a lot to do with your water temperature in correlation with your water clarity. You're going to find out, or it's been my experience, in other words, that the wide wobblers, you've got to have water temperatures around 50 degrees before them to be really effective. It's just sort of that thing about the mood and the personality and the aggressiveness of the bass, things that we don't really fully understand that trigger bass to strike. And guys, we don't want to understand it. One of the things, one of the reasons I dog live scope so much is, guys, never underestimate the importance of not knowing everything in fishing. You don't ever want to know everything, then it just diminishes its value. But that's one of the things about cranking. We don't really know why the fish react like that, but they do. So when I'm fishing a wide wobbler, my wide wobbler selection is a wigglewort, a rock crawler, and a square bill crankbait like that Megabass S crank. And my water clarity and water temperature determine that. So when that water temperature is between like 50 and 55 degrees, this is my prime wigglewort